Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to BATV's coverage of the launch of F. Staple and Associates Limited, the local agents of the University of Leicester. I am Tanika Bennett and I'll be your host. Stay tuned for all the highlights.
It's the official launch of F. Staple and Associates Limited, who is, by the way, the official agent for the University of Leicester for not only Jamaica, but the Caribbean. You're in for a great evening, that much I can tell you. We would like to thank all the persons instrumental in making this event a success. This is an important moment in history. It is one that we will never see again, the launch of Miss Staple. Wouldn't you agree? One that we will never see again. And so we are here tonight to celebrate with you, Francine, as well as partake in fine wine and cheese. How can I forget? But I just want to say to our beloved friend, because we're all here celebrating with her as she embarks on this wonderful journey, who you're seeing here is who is here to support you. And we thank God even for the strength and the mind to be here, our creator. EduCenters Francine is therefore proud to partner with you on this journey. Francine, F. Staples and Associates, I declare, they said speak it into being, will be a success. We are looking forward to greatness and a good partnership. They say teamwork make the dream work, but it's not just a phase, because teamwork does make. Have you ever tried pushing anything by yourself and get a little help? No, the power that help does. Teamwork does make the dream work. And so together, I am confident that EduCenters and F. Staples will do great things. Francine, mutual respect and a shared interest is why EduCenters have chosen to partner with you. So on behalf of EduCenters, everybody, thank you for being here.
You know, someone might wonder, what is my association with Miss Staple? And I see also a fellow educator here. We have fond memories of Miss Staple growing up from a little girl into this phenomenal woman whom we celebrate with this afternoon. And I will not bore you with it, but just to say, I saw in Miss Staple that she's destined to be a great woman. I said it to her after she passed her common entrance in my class to go to Excelsior. And one day she came back and I said, Francine, you are destined to be a great woman. And she said, yes, sir. I said, yes, you are. I call it the extra sensory perception, the ESP, told me that. And I must tell you, this woman has never let us down. She goes leaps and bounds. And the thing I like about her, she maintains her humility. She's the same Francine. You know, many persons who, while Francine in her early days was struggling and would have given up, as some of us would say, we can't bother. Things are not good, not going our way, not go on for me. Francine was one of those who said, I can achieve, I must achieve, I will achieve. And she worked very, very hard. And we are very proud of you.
EduCenters Information Services has been around for almost 20 years. And we are not just a training and development company, but we believe passionately about transferring knowledge. So the partnership with Francine through F. Staple and Associate, her wanting to share her wealth of knowledge as a professional in the security field, as well as sharing quality service through the services her company provides, which are the different degrees and master's program. EduCenters found pleasure in
partnering with her. We believe that together we can achieve more. We believe that together we can bring to corporate Jamaica as well as individual a more quality level of services through training and professional development. Anyone that places special attention on growth and development can develop themselves extraordinarily. I would advise anyone who thinks that there's a job or there is something out there that they can't do, just put your mind to it, put pen to paper and leap, because the summit of success, it is there for everyone to climb.
I met Francine Staple in 1999 when we were both at the port security. She came in as as the internal affairs manager while I was a young security officer. We both spent some time in the Corps and then we both went to work on the port of Kingston. When we started to work on the port of Kingston, that's when I really started to see Francine evolving. She started to do the PSP program with the American Society for Industrial Security and encouraged me to do it as well. And then she went on to do her master's with the University of Leicester, and she's always been encouraging me to do that as well. But I've started to sign up with her this evening as well. But Francine has been one of those powerful, larger-than-life characters. She has really gone through a lot and overcome a lot. And to see where she is tonight, I'm extremely proud of her, and I've drawn some new energy and some good vibe from her going forward, and I can use some of that for my own personal development, of course. I think the business that she has chosen to venture in is excellent. It's right up Francine's alley. She has the years of experience, and one of the things she has been able to do over the years is that she has created very good networks. So she has stakeholders all over the place, and Francine has been able to garner a loyal fan base. She has all of these people, all of these places strategically placed. So I think she'll be extremely well. She will do extremely, extremely well.
And on that note, we take our first break, but don't go anywhere. Much more to come after this.
Doggin Global Business Process Outsourcing. Doggin Global can help you with your day-to-day administrative and secretarial needs. We provide solutions for streamlining your accounting and bookkeeping procedures, so you can get on with running your business while knowing that all the accounting and statutory needs are being taken care of. Our BPO services include the following: bookkeeping, preparation of budgets, management accounts, and periodic financial analyses, provision of temporary or part-time accounting assistance, design and implementation of accounting systems, preparation of accounting manuals, payroll services, corporate secretarial services, assisting clients with their business entry strategy into the country, setting up new legal entities, maintaining minutes and other legal documents, non-executive directorships, preparing and submitting annual returns. For additional information, contact us at email info@doggin.global, website www.doggin.global.
Thanks for staying with us, and if you're just joining, we're here at the launch of F. Staple and Associates Limited. Now for more highlights.
I have had the honor of sharing Francine's journey for many years, first as her mentor, then as a friend and fellow professional, and now as a businesswoman in her own right. Let us give her a round of applause. I have watched Francine grow and progress with admiration as she has gone from strength to strength and risen to the pinnacle of her career, renewing and reinventing herself along the way and breaking all kinds of glass ceilings. As many of you know, the term glass ceiling is a metaphor used to represent an invisible barrier typically put in place to keep out minorities, especially within an established hierarchy. The term was originally coined by feminists and came to be associated with women in their struggles to break barriers in male-dominated occupations and professions, as well as in corporate and organizational structures. Glass ceilings, however, do not only impact on the lines of gender. They also impact on the lines of race, class, and socioeconomic status, and impede the progress of men and women of all walks of life in their bid to progress and be fairly assessed and promoted on the basis of their merit. So I'm not hung up on just the gender aspect of it, where we're looking at it as something which is, against women. Men and women are involved in this whole issue. And this glass ceiling is kept intact by powerful interests who maintain the status quo and who must be hard-pressed to relinquish their control. Indeed, if we look at our own Jamaican experience, we will see that it was not so long ago when women were denied access to management and a range of other occupations, when people of color, be they black, Indian, or mixed race, could not work in certain institutions such as banks, and where even simple jobs could only be accessed by people from higher socioeconomic backgrounds, all through the old boy network and proverbial old school tie. At a conference some years ago, an erudite professor, quoting from one of his studies, said that men relinquished their power and allowed women into the bastions of power. In one of my more passionate moments, I stood up and challenged his assumption, asserting, "You never gave it to us, we took it." The room went silent, and I could feel the discomfort of some people who thought they might have a radical feminist in their midst. In my mind, however, I was just a proud Jamaican woman who never allowed barriers to impede me and would not entertain the idea of anyone in control of my destiny. Francine and I share this in common. And when she recently walked out of a high-profile, high-paying corporate position, she said to me, "I won't be pushed around and treated like an inferior in my profession and in my own country. I'm a proud Jamaican woman and I will stand up for my rights and my dignity." She was true to her words and astounded some of her business associates when she moved on and started anew. It came as no surprise to me, however. Today, although women can celebrate the fact that we have made strides in breaking some glass ceilings, there are still many barriers to break. And this is, again, I said, is not just women trying to break these barriers, it's men as well. I'm particularly concerned that with the influx of foreign investors, particularly in our hotel industry, Jamaicans must be careful not to be relegated to line and lower level positions, but must lobby and put ourselves forward to be considered for management and leadership positions. And we must never accept that some jobs are reserved only for foreigners. Certainly not when we possess the same or higher qualifications, proven experience and skills. So what can we learn from this journey of Francine in addressing the question, how do women and men break the glass ceiling? I have drawn from her experiences and that of other remarkable men and women who have shared their secrets of success, 10 essential factors, which include personal attributes and actions. Permit me just to share them with you quickly. Succinctly, they are: first, believe in yourself. Have a strong vision of who you are, what you want to do, and where you want to go. In other words, have a compelling vision and mission for your life. Secondly, seek out mentors and role models with the knowledge, skills, emotional intelligence, influence, and willingness to support, guide, and help you to grow and achieve your goals. Francine speaks a lot about her mentors, and she sought them out, and I'm so happy, Francine, that I was one of them. She's now mentoring me. Prepare yourself to go boldly where no one has gone before. Yes, it's Star Trekky. Study the terrain, the opportunities, threats, and trends. Then turn on the mindset of the pioneer. Call up the courage to go into uncharted waters. Map your path. Motivate yourself with positive visions and successful self-talk. Because there will be a lot of negative talk, even sometimes from people around you. And you have to do your self-talk. Francine has always done that in her life. That's why she's a hard bud for dead. Nothing will keep her down. Her self-talk tells her, I will and I can. Draw on the strengths of people, individuals, as well as networks of people who will support you. help you and cheer you on in achieving your goals. You have to stay away from the doomsday people who will tell you every reason why you can't. Fourthly, qualify yourself. Seek out experiences that will help you to grow and attain the necessary credentials, certification, diplomas and degrees, and technical expertise. But having this is not enough. We have to know how to apply knowledge. And I tell people who have all the education but don't know how to apply it that they're dying by degrees. And I don't want anyone to do that. Being able to apply what we know is very important. Make sure you know your own worth and what you bring to the table. Take constant stock of your achievements and conduct your own SWOT analysis so you will be aware of your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats, and all the things that you have to know about yourself to make important changes and decisions. It was a great pleasure to be here this evening, particularly seeing Francine taking this step into entrepreneurship and starting her own business. I always felt that she would, because I know that she's very independent and that she has her own ideas, and she has been through the corporate world. She's taken some positives from it, and she has also rejected the things that she feels are things that create a glass ceiling over her and don't allow her to achieve the things that she wants to. And no doubt, with her business, she's going to also impact not only the students that will come through her programs from the University of Leicester, but the corporate world and all Jamaica, because that's Francine. Having myself been in business for the past 33 years, I know that it has its challenges. And of course, we have to look at the impact of a transitional economy, an economy which in Jamaica has gone through a lot of ups and downs. We saw the boom in the 80s. We saw the crash of the financial sector in the 90s. And those of us who have stayed the course have to have a resilience and a belief in ourselves and in our country. I believe that Jamaica is a country that is poised for greatness. We have wonderful people, there's tremendous energy. But I think we have to create more opportunities for business people. I don't think that we have a particularly friendly climate, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises. We need to get everyone on board. Government has been trying, but we need a banking system. I think we need to revive the credit unions, who played such an integral role in the development of Jamaica's finances and indeed the Caribbean. And I think we need to come together as entrepreneurs and support each other. We really need to do that. You know, when I look back on the 90s, the big companies were bailed out by, out of their problems. Little companies like mine, we did our own bailout, and we were very cautious in not borrowing and in making do and so on. But there needs to be a certain degree of boldness if you really want to grow. I think that after the 1990s, many businesses became overly cautious, particularly businesses run by women. We don't tend to take such big risks. But we also, I think, were a bit frightened by what happened with the high interest rates. And we need a system that is going to be a catalyst for the kind of growth that we can get through talented people like Francine. And I see so many young people coming up, and they just need that hand up, not a handout. And I think we need to create a system within the financial sector that's going to meet that. That's what's going to create the real wealth in Jamaica.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
Thank you for being here this evening, sharing in my launch of my business. Of course, it was told to you that it's a limited liability company. I am the sole director, and my friend of 30 years, Mr. Christopher Honeywell, he is my company secretary. The history behind my company. I had a 10-year plan when I entered Kingston Container Terminals. I entered there in 2006. And I made a 10-year plan, and my 10-year plan was true to form. I stepped out of KCT in 2017 when someone thought that, they wanted to push me around, but did not know that I was a bud? A hard bud for dead, right? So, I thought when I was called into that meeting and told of my lateral transfer to another position, I said to myself, I said to my expatriate CEO that I will give him 20 minutes to look over his proposal and get back to him. I took less than 20 minutes to reach my home in New Kingston and had a glass of red wine with my friend from London. I thought that I would not take any disrespect from no one in my own country, as I knew that I was not allergic to mackerel or sardines. I realized there was a game being played by so-called powerful men, and I decided I did not wish to be around that game of dominoes. I went and applied my trade in education as I planned. Little did I know that it was another game of dominoes. I then decided it was time for me to play my own game. That game turns out to be solitaire. The mission of my business is to offer quality service through education, training, and development. And I stand here proudly as the Caribbean representative for the University of Leicester, of which I'm an alum, because I did my master's in security and risk management with them. And it was a part of my 10-year plan to one day represent them here in Jamaica. I sought to single-handedly approach the University of Leicester based on the quality of the product that they offered, whilst I was doing my degree through distance learning. The other core function of my business is really training and development. Training and development is very important. Do not always rely on your employers to send you to training. You must invest in yourself and do your own training. And it is also important to make EduCenters one of your areas that you come to do your training and development, because it is a course that you're charting out for yourself, because the world is a global space and no one individual can fill that space. It is important to individuals and company owners that they have trained, well-trained and developed professionals within their midst. Training and development may not seem relevant today, but it will be relevant tomorrow. Don't delay what you need to do today by leaving it for tomorrow, or it never gets done. Never be a put-off Paul or Pauline. Tonight, I'm very heartened to see the amount of friends, some I'm seeing for the first time from Facebook land, and well-wishers here, as indeed my journey from then to now was a difficult one. Wealth magazine encapsulated that very well. And up until today, I have so many friends that I have made because of that program. I have not seen them. They're from all over the world as far as Ghana. People who appear strong can equally be broken. The strength overpowers the latter, all the time through God's grace and mercy. I will tell you, when you come upon those negative persons, you don't usher them out, but you pray them out. Know when the Lord is preparing you for greatness. All the termites will be coming out of the woodwork. Some you will spray and they die. Some won't, so remember this. In order to be great, you must display strength. My dream is for every single individual to chart their paths. Dream, realize those dreams, and move forward to implement those dreams. That dream or those dreams will prepare you for greatness. I want to thank you all very much for coming here this evening, sharing in my next 10-year journey. I usually have 10-year plans, and I won't retire when I'm 60 or 65. I will retire in another 10 years. So I thank you very much again for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with me, and I appreciate and love you all. Thank you. I will be representing University of Leicester here, so persons can pursue higher degrees in their area of expertise, and also to ensure that persons are properly trained and developed to meet the changing world. As Caribbean people, I consider us one body of people that is looking towards one goal. We're in the CARICOM space, and I'm sure that as Caribbean people, we have similar or differing cultures, but we will remain one Caribbean. And of course, going into the Caribbean to spread the educational knowledge that University of Leicester has to offer, it is important that I not only represent Jamaica, but I'm also proud to represent our Caribbean people. I'm basically the liaison for University of Leicester here. We will also be hosting different sessions in research, writing research paper, writing your dissertations. We will also assist persons with classes in terms of proofreading your documents. How do you proofread? We'll offer services as assisting persons to guide their thesis, and what are the things that they need to expect is to have full support and quality service from my company. I have gone through University of Leicester doing their Masters of Science degree in Security and Risk Management, and I can tell you, class, quality not only education but quality service. I thought that my money spent there was money well spent. Their support base in terms of managing your educational opportunities, managing your papers, they were always there. Your email sent, you're responded to immediately. Their Blackboard, their remote access portals, I mean, they are really amazing. It's an amazing university, and I really wanted to represent them, and it was in my 10-year plan to represent the University of Leicester, and I'm very, very happy that I'm their representative here.
And that brings us to the end of BATV's coverage of F. Staple and Associates Limited. Until next time, I've been your host, Tanika Bennett, inviting you to stay tuned to Business Access TV, serious about business.
Started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Take the guesswork out of improving your IT infrastructure. The field of IT changes so quickly that it can be hard to plan a strategy while keeping up with technological advancements. Yet, without a strategic roadmap built on data-driven insights, your staff can be overworked, spending excessive time putting out technical fires, instead of focusing on strategic tasks that fulfill core business needs. Our IT consulting services are the first step towards transforming your enterprise IT and improving your business efficiency. Our experts have the industry experience and best-in-class tools to methodically assess your entire support operation. We look at your IT support services holistically, identifying improvement areas that will have the greatest impact on employee productivity, service levels, and customer satisfaction. Need help improving your infrastructure uptime? Contact us to discuss a solution that will provide you greater productivity and efficiency. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybone 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about it.
Hi there, welcome to another informative show. Today we highlight the country's efforts to stop the spread of COVID-19. A threat to that process is the circulation of fake news. So the government has created a website which provides up-to-date information on response measures and other matters pertaining to the virus. The website address is jamcovid19.moh.gov.jm. There you may also do a self-assessment to determine your exposure to the virus. There are also links to contact the Ministry of Health if you have returned to the island recently from a country with local transmission, such as the United States, Canada, or the United Kingdom. This is Jamaica Magazine, and I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us. There is so much to see between the pages.
What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19? Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport, and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Up next, highlights of the recently held press conference on the coronavirus.
The first measure that I would like to address is the movement of citizens. We have gotten reports from right across the island, and it is clear that whilst there was a fairly high level of compliance to the various orders that were made over the last 2 weeks, that over the last weekend, we recognize that there is an increase in movement. This increase in movement has come at a time when we are expecting that there would be a greater probability for infections, given the fact that we have had coming into the island close to 7,000 visitors and residents and Jamaicans and citizens, of which approximately 1,500 left the island. So we're still having a considerable number of persons who would have come into the island who we cannot say with certainty that they were faithful to the quarantine rules. And therefore they are generally abroad in the society. They are within the country, moving around. The challenge with that is that that could be the precursor of community spread. And so the more you are moving around, the more likely it is that we could have an increase in the numbers. Effective 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. for 7 days, starting on April the 1st, there will be an all-island curfew. Let me repeat. The police has been instructed to enforce an all-island curfew starting at 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. the following day. And this starts on the 1st of April to the 7th of April. In fact, AG, it would roll into the 8th of April at 6 a.m. Just to be clear on that.
We currently have 36 confirmed cases of COVID-19. That's 4 additional cases from previously announced, so 4 additional cases in the last 24 hours. The members are a 54-year-old female from St. Mary, and the mode of transmission is under investigation. A 34-year-old female from St. James with a travel history to New York. A 74-year-old female from St. Catherine with a travel history from New York. And our first frontline healthcare worker, a 45-year-old female with a contact with someone who was being treated, one of the positive cases. I'm happy to report, however, as the Prime Minister said earlier, that she's doing well. We believe that her prognosis is very positive and that she will recover. There are now 23 imported cases of the total number, 11 import-related, 2 cases are under investigation, and the average age of the persons who have been infected is 52.7 years, ranging from a minimum of 24 years to the eldest at 87 years. The ministry is pleased to advise, too, that one of the patients, patient 5 from St. Anne, who tested positive for COVID-19, has now recovered and has been released from hospital. So I think we can celebrate our first fully recovered COVID-19 case. This is patient number 5. And there's a protocol to determining when one is released. And I want to just outline that and then make one other point. That individual, having been treated and become asymptomatic, meaning not displaying any other symptoms, would be tested twice within a 48-hour period. And if the tests return negative, then the conclusion is the person is fit and ready to be released. And this has been the case with this individual.
This is the time when we have to be extra vigilant. We have been doing pretty well so far, but I want the population to realize that we now have 36 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the population. That means that at this time, we have the potential to have more cases. We have a lot of persons who have come into the country who may not be self-isolating or self-quarantining themselves. And these persons pose a very, very great risk. They pose a great risk for the numbers to shoot up. So the population has to understand that while it appears to you that things may be looking good, if it is that you do not take action now, then things have the potential to get very worse. Right now, we are following a trajectory that is looking at a doubling of the number of cases approximately every 8 days. If we continue along this trajectory, then we will keep our cases reasonably down. We will continue to keep the curve flat, and flat meaning below what it is that our health system is able to manage. If it is that persons do not stay at home, persons who have traveled to countries where where they may have been exposed, if they do not stay at home, they have the potential to infect other persons, and our numbers are going to go up. If there are persons who have had contact with our 36 confirmed cases, if they do not stay at home, then our numbers will also rise. And we will move from a potential doubling every 8 days to possibly a doubling every 5 days, and worst case, where we could have a doubling every 2 days. resulting in a significant number of cases. According to the graph here, 4,608 possibly confirmed by the 12th of April, if it is that persons do not take their responsibilities seriously and stay home.
We will amend the order to require now, to mandate that those persons who came into the island and who are still here between the 18th of March and the 23rd of March, that they must report to the Ministry of Health utilizing the website which we published the last time, which is jamcovid19.moh.gov.jm, or call the Ministry of Health's hotline, which is 8881-LOVE. We ask that you utilize those two routes to contacting the Ministry of Health, and we ask that you faithfully disclose to the representative who answers the phone or the website that you're interacting with all the information that is required, particularly of your current health status and whether or not you were maintaining the quarantine, and how we can get in touch with you in terms of your address, telephone number, so we can understand your health status and assist you if it is that you are showing symptoms. So we have taken a second look at the order for markets, and we have decided that we will make an adjustment to the order, and that is from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we will increase the opening hours. The order now stipulates that markets are open from 6 a.m. in the morning to 2 p.m. in the afternoon for the week. Now we're stipulating that from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the markets will open at 6 a.m. as specified, but they will close at 6 p.m. And that is to allow persons to use the market without clustering in the market, to allow persons to have more hours for scheduled visits to the market than to have everyone trying to get to the market before closing at 6 and therefore having congestion in the market and reduced space for social distancing.
Practice good hygiene by washing your hands frequently using soap and water. Here's how you should do it while conserving water. Turn on the tap to wet your hands, then turn off the pipe. Lather your hands and the tap with soap. Turn on the tap and wash your hands, back, front, and in between fingers. Use some of the water to wash off the tap, then turn it off. Dry your hands with disposable hand towels. If you don't have running water, use a hand rub containing 62% or more alcohol. If hand sanitizers are not available, rubbing alcohol, Dettol, white rum, or household bleach will do the trick. And if all else fails, let hand washing and the handling of potable water be a two-person event. Each person will take turns pouring and washing hands with sitting water. Now is a good time to consider installing a tap on your containers to reduce the risk of water contamination. Faucets can be easily attached to drums, buckets, or 5-gallon water bottles. And to ensure that the outside of the containers are clean when recapping, disinfect it with hand rub containing alcohol that's 62% or more. The 5 R's of water conservation are also necessary to practice. Reduce water wastage by investing in water-saving devices. Reuse water at least twice before discarding. Replace leaking pipes, faucets, and other plumbing equipment. Recycle wastewater and use it for gardening, car washing, or cleaning of public spaces.
and reclaim water through rainwater harvesting. We all must play our part to ensure there's water to combat the coronavirus and stave off prolonged drought.
Quarantine has been identified as a good method to flatten the curve. There is a difference, however, between staying at home and being in quarantine. There are also procedures to be followed if a person or community is quarantined. Take a look.
The purpose of quarantine is to closely monitor patients so that symptoms can be picked up early and the appropriate measures taken.
This tool of public health, quarantine, works by separating and restricting the movement of people who may have been exposed to a contagious disease to see if they become sick. As many countries, and eventually Jamaica, began to grapple with the introduction of a new strain of the coronavirus called COVID-19, quarantine has been one of the measures implemented. In Jamaica, it begins at our ports of entry. Government assessed the risks and identified several countries that posed the greatest risk to introducing the virus on the island through travel from their citizens or Jamaicans in the diaspora. Travel was restricted, and those granted landing privileges were assessed and determined if they needed to be quarantined. Persons are generally placed in quarantine for the established incubation period of the particular disease. As it relates to COVID-19, that's 14 days.
When we place persons in quarantine, what we want to do is to monitor on a daily basis and to ensure that if there are any symptoms that are developing, we pick it up early before the person reach to a point where they are coughing or sneezing and are more likely to be able to spread the virus.
There are, in general, two ways in which persons can be quarantined: in a government facility or at home.
The process of quarantine persons at home is not a simple one that we just send persons home. The homes are investigated by the health department. We ensure that there is adequate space for the person to remain far away from other persons, and we ensure that the person is educated as to how it is that they conduct themselves, how it is that they move around. We ensure that the family is also educated, and then the health department checks on this patient on a daily basis. Now that check may mean that the person may be given a thermometer, and they're asked to check their temperatures, and they're given a log that they monitor their symptoms, and this is reviewed by the health department on a daily basis. If necessary, the health department visits the home on a daily basis as well. So we restrict persons who are in quarantine from going outside of their homes. And essentially in a home, what you really need is just a room and an adjoining bathroom. The general precautions in terms of making sure that you keep your distance, 3 feet is what we recommend. The person who is at home who of course does not want to spread any possible thing that they may have to their relatives will take the necessary precautions in terms of some of them may wear a mask, okay, to prevent. If they're talking to their relatives or friends, they may choose to wear a mask. The washing of hands is very, very important, because any kind of droplets that get on your hand, you can transfer to your face, and you can therefore get it into your ear passages or into the eyes and cause an infection. So the washing of hands, making sure that you have that facility, and also for hand sanitization if you don't wash immediately, that is also recommended.
As at March 17, there are 4 government quarantine facilities across the island.
Essentially, for a quarantine facility, what we really need is that the person is separated from other persons and there is minimum contact.
When persons are quarantined at one of these national facilities, they are kept in a room and monitored daily by members of a healthcare team. They are fed and their daily needs met during the quarantine period. In some cases, a third form of quarantine may be required: the quarantine of an entire community. Like home and self-quarantine, Residents are required to be quarantined in their homes for 14 days. They are required to remain inside their houses and not wander about in the community unless necessary. They must remain within the mapped out boundaries of the community, which are now manned by the security forces. During the period, government will deliver care packages to the residents, which include food, water, and in some cases, medicine. They are also educated on what is happening to them, what to expect, and how to prevent the situation from escalating. Whether persons are in home or government facility quarantine, it is important that they abide by the quarantine guidelines, maintain a positive attitude, and contact the Ministry of Health and Wellness COVID-19 helplines if someone in the household gets sick.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
As we strive to protect our physical well-being, we must also ensure that our finances are intact. We should not overspend or buy unnecessary items. Now is probably not the best time to splurge on clothes or fashionable accessories. The uncertainties surrounding the virus is a reminder that we should pinch our earnings. Here are a few tips on how to protect our savings.
With COVID-19 now in Jamaica, we are being advised to stock up on hygiene supplies that can be used to protect ourselves, as well as to have at least 2 weeks' supply of food and water in reserve. A lot of us may not have the disposable income to readily do that, at least not without tapping into a little savings we have managed to put aside. But financial experts will tell you, whatever the need, it is important not to deplete our savings, and money management is critically important. But how to do that? First, don't rush to shop, or panic shopping as they put it. Why? Because you may buy things you don't immediately need, leading to wasted spending. Next, I would say assess your home situation. Check how many persons are in the family, if there are babies, toddlers, and persons with special needs. You should then decide on the amount of available money you have to spend. Make a list of the things you need. The experts suggest at least 2 weeks' supply of basic food items and medication. To help with your shopping list, it's a good idea to work out a meal plan for the period. Next, be disciplined. Try not to divert from this meal plan too much and finish the supply early. This would mean going back to the store to spend more money. Protecting your health is priority number 1, and being smart with your expenses actually supports that. We must remember that we are not sure how long the country will be going through this pandemic. So, as best as possible, we need to ensure our money can carry us through for as long as possible and hopefully have reserves for after.
From the data, we can see that most countries will enter a phase of rapid increase in cases. However, depending on the containment measures employed and the timeliness and effectiveness of their implementation, the severity of the increase in infections can be managed downwards. Empowering citizens with information that encourages responsible personal hygiene and community health behavior, such as washing hands regularly and staying home if ill, tracing and containing infected and contact cases, that is, quarantine measures, and implementing social distancing measures, gathering restrictions, for example, have real effects on slowing down and containing the spread of the virus.
It is said that by May, the country may have reached the peak of confirmed cases of COVID-19, but the recovery process and further containment measures may still be in place for a few more months. So, what else can you do to protect your financial health? A key thing is to not max out your credit card and income because you are worried that supplies will run out. Check for moratorium on mortgages and loans. Use this as a reserve cash flow instead of your pay or savings. I know it's easy to get off track with plans, but we have to be disciplined and we have to prioritize, now more than ever.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, wishes to advise the public that the Mandela Park in St. Andrew is closed. This is in adherence with government's restrictions on gatherings in public spaces. The halfway tree-based park will be closed until further notice. The NSWMA will continue to closely monitor the announcements of the Ministry of Health and Wellness to make decisions in the best interest of the citizens of Jamaica.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, is calling on citizens to properly secure garbage for collection. The entity also warns you to call if there is a pileup of domestic solid waste in your community. Watch this.
Solid waste management is a critical component of curtailing local transmission of COVID-19. As householders strive to keep their homes and frequently used surfaces clean, domestic garbage collection is now even more important. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, has called on citizens to partner with the agency in taking all measures possible to contain the spread of this virus. The recommended actions to support the sanitation crews are securing household garbage by properly bagging, tying, and placing in a container for collection, double bagging garbage containing tissue, gloves, face masks, and diapers, placing storage receptacles at the front of the premises where they can be accessed without hindrance 24 hours per day. Persons with uncollected garbage are also encouraged to contact the agency through the following media. Call toll-free at 888-CLEAN-JA, that's 888-253-2652, or WhatsApp 876-448-3220. Or email nswma@nswma.gov.jm. Visit the agency's website www.nswma.gov.jm and reach out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The NSWMA continues to work closely with the Ministries of Local Government and Health to ensure the welfare of employees and the citizens of Jamaica.
You've reached the final page of the magazine. Thanks so much for being here with us on today's journey. Another Jamaica magazine unfolds tomorrow, so come back same time on this same station. Until then, click on our social media pages for more informative features and head over to our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to our pages and channels so you can stay in the know. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
You're watching Business Access TV. Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious.
Serious about business.
Explore, engage, elevate. The Jamaica Stock Exchange is showcasing its online program here at its eCampus Open House and Corporate Mingle. Hi, I'm Javon Keys, and Business Access TV is here to bring you all the happenings. Stay tuned. The first segment of our program is the Open House, where the Jamaica Stock Exchange will be introducing its postgraduate certification programs offered through its eCampus. Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest will bring greetings.
I want to thank you for coming this evening to the JCE Campus's Open House. And, you know, when I was thinking about what I would say to you this evening, I said, you know, the fact that you come and, you know, it's immediately after August, which is the break, and I know you have a lot to do at the office, and also with the back to school. I am very pleased to see you all. You know, you have given us this evening pleasure in coming here. The intention this evening is to introduce to you the JC's exciting eCampus and the programs that we currently offer. And I'm smiling because I remember in 2012, at our launch, we said, and the program that we currently offer. And I am just excited about the fact that now we can say the programs, right, Dr. Lawrence, that we currently offer. And we feel that it is appropriate to share with you not only the number of programs we offer, but the level of certification that bolster our offerings. Because it is one thing to offer programs upon programs, but how does it enhance what you do? What can you do after you say, I've completed that program? There must be something to bolster it. And these include the accreditation by the University Council of Jamaica of our flagship program, the Postgraduate Diploma in Financial Services Management, our Continuing Professional Development Certification, which provides the stamp of approval from the CPD Certification Services in London that all our programs conform to continuing professional development principles, and also the approval from the Financial Services Commission of our online securities courses. The eCampus objectives are designed to match the objectives of the participants to our courses, which are to increase in the knowledge base of persons within the financial industry and the general marketplace. So we want to ensure that you know that while we operate within the financial industry, financial matters affect all companies. Am I correct, Dr. Lawrence? All companies. So it is a broad scope we are talking about. The ability also to practically utilize the training at the workplace and in the participants' daily life, and see to convert the training into a tangible currency. That is upward mobility in the organization. As the best performing exchange in the world, and you know, I would have to say that, right? For 2015, 2018, and we are second at this point to date in terms of what Bloomberg has said. But 2 weeks ago, we were number one. So we are watching this to see what will happen. And I want you to watch it with me so that we know where we are for the end of the year. But it is no secret that we have a very clear vision on what the standard in training in the financial services sector and its employees should be. So you would be coming to the right place. We understand that daily the rules of the game changes in the financial sector, as well as other sectors of commerce. and the risk in the market are greater now due to new and sophisticated products. You know, we're looking at bitcoins, and we are looking at other asset class, we would say. And, you know, as a result of that, the Jamaica Stock Exchange will be there to guide the market through these various sophisticated products. So, you know, there can be only one place to look. Our programs take these variables of this sophistication and all of that global changes in mind. And so there are several hundred persons working in the financial sector that will benefit from getting on board. We're hoping today to shed more light on the programs we offer, the matter of admission, the persons are here, or flexible payment plan, and the importance of the campus in general, and why we wish to engage you in having the campus as central to your thought. Whether as an individual or as a company or as HR, the campus must be central to your thoughts. Again, welcome.
On behalf of the JC Group and the eCampus, I would like to extend to you all a warm welcome and thanks for taking your time to be a part of this very informative event. I'm very pleased to be a part of the technical group which handles all technical matters relating to the eCampus. Our main objectives and goals and responsibilities are to provide training for our faculty members and our staff, as well as the eCampus administrative unit and our other stakeholders such as our students and the general public at large. I will be demoing our relevant technologies that we use in our day-to-day operations, as well as I'll be, giving you some brief system requirements of the systems that we use. Our website is based on Moodle, which is basically the benchmark for all universities and tertiary institutions worldwide. Basically, every tertiary institution uses Moodle to develop their website in order to provide that hub, that platform, that community, which all our facilitators, our participants, technical administrators, and the administrative staff of the eCampus can interact.
eCampus was designed to engage the learner. I will briefly introduce you to some of its features and activities, beginning with the homepage. There is always something happening on eCampus and in the financial world, and eCampus Happenings is where you get the latest headlines. To your right, you will see a message notification box that shows messages sent to you from other students, your teachers, or administration. You will also notice a calendar that shows events for the current month. We'll talk more about calendar later. Let's move into one of my courses. To your left and to your right, you will notice several boxes that show you the latest news, all the course activities, upcoming course events, and others. You will notice that the course has an introduction. This section gives you all the information you need to know on the course. This section will also be updated to provide you with the latest information of most importance to the course material. You will also notice that the course has a general chat room and a general forum, two great ways of communicating with your peers. The forum lets you view topics created by teachers and other students. You can also create your own topics and comment on open ones. This is a great way to post general questions to your class members. The chat room allows you to have live chat sessions with class members who are currently online. Your teacher may sometimes use this as an open session to answer general queries. Let's now look at assignments. Assignments are given with clear instructions and may sometimes require you to submit a file. A file can be in PDF, Word, Excel. It all depends on what the teacher instructs you to do. And for the real deal, the course content. Content is delivered in video and audio. It lets you pause, skip, go back, and continue from wherever you left off the last time. The beauty about this experience is, if you didn't get the lecture the first time around, you can always go back and watch it again for as long as it's available. And let's look at the quiz. You get instant feedback as you answer each question, and your grade is known immediately at the end of each quiz. Didn't do so well? Don't worry. You get 3 attempts. But keep this in mind. The final grade will be the average of all 3 attempts. This is an online course, but you still get to see and talk with your lecturer. Each course has at least one web meeting session with your lecturer. In this session, the lecturer can share his screen with you as you work through a problem. He may also give you the floor so that you may be seen as you speak to the rest of the class. This is all for now. Thank you and enjoy your eCampus learning experience.
The next video I'll be presenting is our web platform. We use a technology called Zoom webinars. I'm sure most of us might have been previously exposed or we have heard of Zoom before. It is a very interactive, collaborative tool that's very easy to use.
Expand your reach and build relevance with your target audience using Zoom video webinars. Zoom's flexible registration controls allow you to gather valuable information. Designate your interactive video panelists that can present and screen share with up to 10,000 attendees and to an unlimited audience with Facebook Live or YouTube streaming. The host can promote any viewer to an interactive panelist at any time. Live Q&A and chat allow you and your panelists to answer attendee questions on the fly. Registration, Q&A, and polling are all linked to detailed reporting. Zoom's powerful integrations help you get more out of your webinars. Monetize your content with our PayPal integration and simplify follow-up with our CRM integrations. Let your webinar live on after the live event by enabling our on-demand feature, allowing you to capture new registrants long after the webinar's end. Webinars are perfect for town hall meetings, large-scale trainings, product announcements, marketing lead generation, and more. Reach a broader audience and grow your impact with Zoom video webinars.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
Hi, this is Angeli Martin Spencer, Principal and Interior Decorator of ASH, Angeli Spencer Home, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believe in ourselves and our families believe in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I never thought I'd hear the day when blackberries are archaic. It just goes to show that we have to keep up with the times, you know, and the product that the JSE eCampus has, this online professional development platform, is keeping up with the times. People want what they want, when they want it on time, and they want it delivered in a convenient manner. Gone are the days when you're going to be expecting people to come after you have completed or you're in your workspace to come to a 2-year, you know, you don't have the time, and no workplace can manage anything like that. So I'm here to give you an overview of what I term a marquee product of the eCampus. The product I want to give you an overview of, and I won't be very long, is called a Postgraduate Diploma in Financial Services Management. Long acronym there. The Postgraduate Diploma in Financial Services Management is an occupational graduate program. It is higher than a bachelor's degree and everything else, associates, so on. It is a graduate program. So it is a postgraduate qualification, and it is an occupational qualification. You'll hear a little bit more in a couple of slides what I mean, or the distinction between occupational versus academic. It offers industry participants opportunities for critical exploration of the regulatory framework, governance issues, financial products, and services in an academic climate of high intellectual rigor. And a part of why this program was developed was because of a recognition that someone may come to the financial sector with an MBA or a bachelor's degree from a recognized institution abroad. But the actual workings, the mechanism of how the financial sector works locally is not treated. And so there was a need for persons to get up to speed to be able to deliver products and services in a much more efficient way. And hence the concept here. But I must also say before I move to the next slide that the concept was a visionary one from Mrs. Merlin Street Forest. I mean, I'm sure she's accustomed to that term being associated with her name now. Matter of fact, you can probably say Merlin Visionary Forest. Because it was out of her idea, really, that this need was being filled. It is 15 months in length. And this, by the way, compares very well with similar occupational postgraduate degrees in the world. Now, what is a professional degree? Remember I said I'd tell you the distinction between a professional and an academic degree. And I put it in bold there, partly. Well, first of all, let's go from the first bullet. It helps students to prepare for careers in their specific fields. So you have professional degrees in law, in pharmacy, in medicine, education. The length of the programs can vary, but span anywhere from 1 to 5 years. So 15 months is pretty optimal, as you can see. But important there, professional degrees are designed to directly prepare students for a particular career, hence the term professional or occupational degree. All right? And I just gave a list of a couple of them that exist. And part of the reason why I use Juris Doctor and Doctor of Medicine is because all of a sudden when you hear about doctorates in these areas, you see prestige. So I'm making you understand that the postgraduate diploma in financial services management has pedigree. Now, what is an academic degree? An academic degree, the emphasis typically is about research. And I like to break it down for my students when they first enter in a class that I teach about research. Research is really about learning first. And it is that you are the lead learner in the field. And you're creating new knowledge. It's not about working with what you have. It's about creating new knowledge. And typically it's very heady and academic and published in journals and so on. So there's a clear distinction between an occupational or professional degree as opposed to an academic degree. So I looked at 5 reputable institutions in the Commonwealth. I chose the Commonwealth. The United States of America tends to have all kind of variants, but I wanted a system that we could compare to ours. So I looked at the UK and Canada, and I'm sure you recognize some of these institutions here. There's the Seneca College of Applied Arts and Technology in Canada, Oxford University, the #1 university in the world, bar none, University of Salford, Manchester, London School of Business and Finance, and the famous London School of Economics, and Douglas College. Douglas College is Canada, Seneca College, Canada, the rest obviously in the UK. They have those products there. And you can see the terms are very, very similar to the one that we have. The overall offerings are also very similar, okay? And look at the costing. You can't beat what we sell here. The role and function of the Jamaica Stock Exchange is very similar to the role and function of the UCJ, University Council of Jamaica. What both institutions have in common is that they tell potential stakeholders that you can trust this organization. So you are listed on the stock exchange, these people can be trusted. They won't be fly by night and take your money and disappear. And you know what I mean. The UCJ is telling us the same thing. Essentially, in an educational organization, you don't want to go and invest your time or your money in a fly-by-night organization. There's much more to it. But I'm saying to you, what UCJ says, you can trust this product. Now, it's important to note that whereas for the diploma, the postgraduate diploma, you need to do 14 courses, you may take any one course by itself. So you can decide, oh, you know, I want to know a little bit more about risk management. There's a course for that. I want to know about corporate governance. There's a course. So say I want to just do a course by itself, you can do that, as opposed to taking on all 14. There's no comparable program available at any of these institutions to compare with the $250,000 or so that it is being offered for here in Jamaica at the eCampus. Now, I did the benchmarking of the product itself, but I want to put also the context of the eCampus in this one slide. This is the London Stock Exchange, and I'm sure Mrs. Forrest knows, and those of us that have had the opportunity to take a look at the landscape, that London Stock Exchange has what they call an academy. They do not leave professional development of the financial sector up to chance. And what they use is the term bespoke. They are prepared to create bespoke professional development training opportunities for anybody, anywhere in the world. So if you want a course in Jamaica, they can make it for you, but we don't want you to do that. That is our site, and you can see down the bottom there, new and exciting upcoming workshops. That's the bespoke side of the eCampus. Entry requirements are listed here. And by the way, the third requirement there, speaking about material postgraduate diploma applicants. In other words, we're looking at industry experience. This isn't a willy-nilly thing. It is a part of how educational institutions have evolved, a part of how we now matriculate persons. Think of somebody who is a virtuoso at the guitar. They have never read a note in their life, but they can play it better than, drop something they can do. We say, okay, we won't invalidate that you can't read notes. Come and handle whatever action or activity in terms of playing a song or playing what you have done. And we can evaluate that and determine for what amount of credits or how that can be used to matriculate you into the system. So you may have entered the financial sector without necessarily, many people have soared to the top without beginning initially with any formal training. So we're not invalidating that. That's a reality. That's the way of the world. That's how every institution now operates. So that's what that mature applicants pertains to. So we say we will take industry experience as well as part of what can be used to matriculate you into the program. But first degree, JC Securities course, or any other FSC approved first level course, at least 3 years relevant experience within the financial services sector or a related field. So what we're saying is that this program is for you. Wherever you sit, this program is for you. If you're serious about advancement in your career. I don't know how many have recognized this gentleman. He was the former head of Heart NTA. And now that's a national body, and now he's the head of the Caribbean Examinations Council, CSEC. So he has moved from head of a national organization to now the head of a regional organization. He has a PhD in industrial engineering. He said this, he came and did the program. And at the graduating ceremony, he described it as by far one of my most consequential studies when he came and did the program here. And as a part of what this program is about, ultimately the persons that leave are the brand ambassadors. And he was so pleased that he was prepared to say this about not comparing his industrial engineering degree from University in Florida and the list of other qualifications he had. He felt that this was one of his most, because it helped him, according to him when we spoke to him, to function in his role as the CEO of his organization. Because he said he would sit down sometimes in meetings prior to this and hear about them talking about the budget, and he couldn't understand what was going on. But subsequent to the program, he was able now to plot the institution's financial development, which is quite a big deal for us. So we're very proud of him, one of our graduates, Dr. Wayne Wesley. So I call it a marquee product. As a scientist, I try not to use words idly. I'm very serious about it.
When we return, you'll hear from our guest speaker. Who is it? You'll find out when we come back. Stay with us.
Cash flow and budgeting analysis. A business can be profitable and still run into trouble due to cash flow issues. We can forecast and evaluate your company's financial condition, estimate financing requirements, and track cash flow sources and uses. For more information and to discuss your requirements with one of our experts, please contact us today. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I'm Adam Stewart. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
I am Jackie Tyson, and you're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Tonight's speaker, she said I shouldn't call her a guest speaker. So tonight's speaker is a friend of the eCampus. Not only is she known for her 25+ years experience in the field of risk and compliance, she is also a known attorney at law, a senior manager, and company secretary at KPMG. She is known for her down-to-earth, bubbly, and refreshing personality. However, tonight, she's not here in her capacity as senior manager. She is here to speak to us about the postgraduate certificate in Chartered Secretary and the ICAC course that the eCampus offers. Our speaker is the head of the Jamaica branch of the ICSA and will be sharing with us the benefits of enrolling in a course such as this. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mrs. Elizabeth Henry Pottinger.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
It's good to be here because I believe that the ICSA qualification is one of the ones that the JSCE campus has snagged, and I am sure that at the end of this presentation this evening, many persons will be signing up to become qualified as a chartered secretary. This qualification is over 100 years old. It's headquartered in England, and many Jamaican persons used to travel all the way to England or self-study to learn to be a qualified company secretary. But now, the ICSA is being brought right here on your e-campus, right at your fingertips, as I heard someone said earlier this evening. I have my colleague, Jean Douglas, who is a chartered secretary as well, and she has been practicing a few years before me, and she knows the in and outs of being a chartered secretary. So why qualify with the ICSA? I like to say that it brings you right into the boardroom, and it brings you to the seat of decision making. And this is where the skills are mainly practiced, but it is multidisciplinary. You can be an accountant, you can be a company secretary, you can do risk management. Our qualification will help you to build the skills that will equip you for a career in a variety of sectors and organizations. So we offer a standalone qualifications which cover financial services, and this includes investments and fund management, legal and regulatory requirements, which is my focus, understanding of corporate strategy and structures, the skill to support and advise and enable directors and the board to make the right decisions. So you see that it places you right at the seat of decision making. Here we go. So why is this qualification? Why is this, and what are some of the benefits? You get a chartered status, which is the benchmark for company secretaries and governance professionals. It shows you have the knowledge, the skills and experience to take on a job with significant and wide-ranging responsibilities. It gives you access to thought leadership, research, and our highly respected guidance notes. You get free access to our technical helpline, and the qualification is transferable across major countries. So if you're a chartered secretary in Jamaica, you move to England or Australia or Canada, you can use the same qualifications at the same level. You do not lose your ranking. And the membership is transferable to any ICSA division as long as you're a resident in that division. So this is the stepping stone for your qualification. And pay attention to this particular slide, because different persons will fit in at different steps. You have the foundation, the part 1, and the part 2 qualifications. So the foundation program entry, if you hold a degree or a higher national diploma in either law, accounting, business studies, or business management, then you'll be required to sit and pass the foundation level, which is what we just showed you. The foundation level is the one in red, down the bottom there. So part 1 entry, if you hold any of the following qualifications, you may be eligible to start at part 1. So the HND in law or accounting, HND or degree in business studies or business management, ICSA level 5 diploma in offshore finance and admin, level 5 diploma in finance and administration, or an unrelated degree, and have 5 years or more experience in a company secretarial or governance professional role. So the related degree, entry law. These are law graduates holding an approved UK degree in law, and you'll start at part 1 and will be eligible for exemption from the company law module. So if I go back to that presentation, there's a company law. If you have a law degree, you will be exempt from writing the company law section of part 1, but you would skip the foundation level. So if you have a related degree entry in finance, and the graduates holding an approved UK degree in finance will start at part 1 and will be eligible for exemption from the interpretation of financial accounting module. If you have an MBA entry, they will have to review what your MBA was in and give you the relevant exemptions that are applicable. So for the professional entry, lawyers with fewer than 5 years professional experience will start at part 1 and will be eligible for an exemption from the company law module. They may, subject to previous knowledge, qualification, and experience, also be eligible for an exemption from the development of strategy mode. You must be a member of the bar, and the Jamaican bar is acceptable to the ICSA qualification. Professional entry in accounting. Accountants with fewer than 5 years professional experience will start at part 1 and will be eligible for an exemption from the interpretation of financial accounting information module. They may, subject to previous knowledge, qualification, or experience, also be eligible for an exemption in the development of strategy mode. The fees, I think it's comparable to what we have heard earlier. The fees, the program says that you have a registration fee of £77. There's a subscription of £135. To be exempted, though, you have to pay £157 per module. And the exam fee is also £157 per module. And there's a study text per module. And note that the annual subscription fee is payable to maintain your student membership. So it means that in order to even do those 2 papers, the case study and the other paper, you must register as a student of the Institute of Chartered Secretary. The ways to study: tuition provider, which the eCampus is a registered tuition provider, and you will be taken through your paces through this eCampus. I don't want to say too much about the other study. You can self-study as well, but I have found that most people who self-study, they have a great difficulty in passing the exam. So I would encourage you to sign up with the eCampus and take advantage of all of the help that you can get. This is a worthwhile qualification, I can tell you. And we have some postgraduate partners, and I think the eCampus, I'm not sure that you're a postgraduate partner as yet, but you are a provider of the services. We have a link that you can find the full list of postgraduate courses and providers. And here are some facts I provided for you. Students must register with both the university and the ICSA prior to completing the course. And your fees vary from that of ICSA, the fees that you pay to the eCampus, and your membership fees are payable directly to the institute. So for the foundation program, which is the red box that we skipped over earlier, there are 4 papers here. Introduction to the business environment, Introduction to Finance and Accounting, and I can tell you that that is not really an introductory course. It is much deeper than an introductory course. Principles of company compliance and administration and introduction to law. What does it involve? This is the foundation course, 15 to 200 learning hours that develop your understanding of the fundamentals, including introduction to the business environment, finance, law, compliance, and admin. There's a one closed book 3-hour exam, and it covers all of the 4 modules. It leads to the foundation program certificate at level 4 and the right to continue to study for the qualifying program. So remember that there are 3 levels, the foundation, part 1 and part 2. Some people might be exempted from the foundation in its entirety. Some will be exempted from parts of part 1. Some will be exempted from all of part 1. And some will be exempted from part of the part 2, depending on your years of experience and your qualification.
The presentations may be over, but the event isn't quite done. Now let's go mingle.
Accounting software selection and implementation. With the number of computerized accounting software packages available for small businesses and individuals growing every day, selecting one that is right for you has become increasingly difficult. As accounting professionals, we have knowledge of most programs, either through personal experience or industry literature. Our experienced staff can help you choose and implement the system that best fits your needs. For more information and to discuss your requirements with one of our experts, please contact us today. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo. The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
We go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
So, Mrs. Street Forest, the eCampus was launched in 2012 and it's a number of years now. What's the traction been like and what can we expect going forward from this regime introduced by the JSC?
We have been successful in having many students from all different industries partake of the programs that we have. The flagship program, which is the postgraduate diploma in financial services management, and all the other workshops, the attending workshops that talk about products and services within the financial sector and otherwise. Our uptick has been very good. You know, we have had the accreditation from UCJ. We also have approval from the Financial Services Commission and the CPD certification. And these bolster just what people get from the program, hands-on and also qualification to take them to the next level. And you know, we are looking at areas such as blockchain technology, digital asset management, digitization of your organization. These are some things that are critical to the success of organizations, and whatever comes within the environment that will lead to a better and more sustainable financial sector, we are there. So these are the programs that we continue to offer, and anything that evolves, we offer those as well.
So Dr. Benjamin, talk to us about the accreditation for the courses. Now many persons may be concerned, yes, they hear about the courses being offered, but generally a concern is there about accreditation. Are these courses accredited?
Yes, very good question. I want to first of all give us a sense of what accreditation means. In my earlier presentation, I pointed out that at the center of accreditation is a matter of public trust. And persons can think about it as you would think about being listed on the stock exchange, for example. What that means is that possible persons who want to invest know that the money is not going to disappear when they invest it. Academic accreditation is relatively similar. The University Council of Jamaica provides a platform and relevant processes and procedures that when a company or when an institution, when a program has been accredited by the University Council of Jamaica, what they're saying is that potential stakeholders, students who might come on board, financiers, matter of fact, you can't get a student loan if you're not going to be going in an accredited program. So you're saying to the person that, look, this is a program that is trustworthy. It is going to add value. It is the kind of program that will be recognized wherever in the world that you go. And so the JSE campus postgraduate diploma in financial services management is one such accredited program.
And for persons generally who may be interested in, let's say, pursuing this course, how well does it tie in, or how different is it from any other postgraduate degree, let's say, offered by any other institution? Why is it that I should choose doing this program over any other?
Absolutely. No, the program is offered by the Jamaica Stock Exchange eCampus. One of the key mandates of the eCampus from its parent body was to ensure that the providers of financial services in the landscape are well equipped to provide advice, to provide innovative services and products to the market. And in order for this to happen, they have to have a firm understanding of the governance structures of the banking industry, financial services industry, understand international best practices, of course, local best practices, and so on. And we ensure that all our graduates, when they leave the program, through having done the 14 courses, there are about 17 outcomes we have put there. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. But among them are the essentials to be able to advise and to develop and implement products, both financial products, as well as to provide advice to potential clients as to how to invest their own money. Yes.
So you're saying, of course, by all means, it's the best program to choose to do.
It is the best program because it is customized for the Jamaican context. And even if somebody has another degree, they would probably be studying a lot of theories, and it's not that we don't do theory work in the postgraduate diploma in financial services management, but that we are looking at it more as an occupational and an applied degree, so that it is more practical, it's more hands-on, it's more oriented towards being able to respond to the needs of the Jamaican local context.
So Mr. Parks, the Jamaica Stock Exchange's eCampus has a wide range of courses offered. Tell us a bit about these programs.
Sure.
Well, our flagship program is our postgraduate diploma in financial services management. We have a suite of other postgraduate certificates that are offered, including we have the compliance and information governance, we have the financial planning and wealth management, we have the brokerage operations, and many others that are specialized to the different sector. So because we cater to the financial services sector, we have persons who need more enhanced training for security brokers, banking, insurance, and any other entity that offers financial services in general. But we also offer a suite of workshops that are specifically designed to enhance the learning outcomes, to ensure that persons can become a more enhanced desk-ready operant. That is, we highlight gaps that might be there in the marketplace in terms of from an HR perspective, and also persons who are interested in upgrading their skill, because we are CPD certified, which is a continued professional development certification that comes through London, England, and we ensure that everything that we offer are at the highest level to enable all of our participants to be desk-ready operant, or to be a desk-ready operant, and bring an immediacy in terms of the know-how right to their desk for the benefit of the organizations as a whole.
Now, I know your focus is on strengthening persons in the financial sector, but are there any plans to also offer courses for persons who may not necessarily have a degree now, but may be interested in learning about becoming financially savvy and strengthening their wherewithal as it relates to financial education?
Well, sure. We offer the Jamaica Online Securities course, which is a minimum entry-level requirement for persons who require the basic knowledge. So we cater to varying personnel from that perspective. So persons who require to be licensed by the Financial Services Commission. The Jamaica Online Securities course that we offer is the minimum qualification that the FSC would assess in order to license you to give professional advice. We have persons who gravitate to that program, not necessarily because they want to give advice, but they want to have a better understanding in order to navigate the financial markets as a whole, to ensure that their whole financial health can be enhanced.
So you've basically gotten the best of both worlds, a platform where information is shared and another where it's discussed. I'm Javon Keys, I've been your host, and thanks to you for staying tuned to the Jamaica Stock Exchange's e-campus, open house, and corporate mingle. And thanks to the Jamaica Stock Exchange for having such an event where they're showcasing the offerings of their e-campus. Thanks for staying with us. Pleasant viewing.
Started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is at play.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Hello, my name is Blake Widmer. I'm the co-founder of Def Can Coffee. And the exposure that we had to the just general community through Business Access TV itself is awesome. It was a big deal for them, you know, having BATV come here, and we were with you guys for probably 4 hours that day. It was a long time. We really appreciate your guys' openness to recognize that, yeah, captions are important. If a deaf person's watching it, how are they gonna understand what's being said? So. Looking back is just a big boost, encouragement for our team. If you're a business or an organization that wants to have yourselves featured on BATV, or you want to do advertising with BATV, what I would tell them is that you guys listen well and you ask good questions, and that will help, at the end of the day, deliver a really good product for your business too.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
Creating change. Building a future.
giving back, touching hearts, and shaping lives. Impacting our world for the better.
Have grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I will get it big.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange wishes to help to develop the social sector. To that end, they have formed the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, which is a safe, efficient, and transparent platform that aims to promote social projects that build Jamaica and will inure to the benefit of all persons living in the country.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange is a company that encourages and mobilizes capital for the main market, and that is the market that is not the social sector. Now, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is really geared towards the social sector to help to solve social problems in the field of health, education, about children, environment. Those are some of the things that we consider social problems. And so it is to mobilize the capital, allow persons who have a desire to invest in a social good, to invest in the social stock exchange. It is designed in two parts. In phase one, where we look at social investment, and phase two, where we look at social impact investment. Now, in phase one, really what we are saying is it is donation. An organization will have a social issue and design it into a project or a program and invite Jamaicans or persons within the diaspora or the entire world to fund this program. Now, in phase two, you're going to get a return on investment, which is not social. You will be getting shares, natural shares, as you would get if you invested in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And what you'll get is a return on capital, which is possibly dividend or an appreciation in that share. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange does more than ask for the funding of these programs, but goes beyond that in terms of monitoring, ensuring that these programs are meeting the targets and the reason for them to have asked for funding in the first place. When we look at this new sector, it is important because holistically, if you do not look on the social sector, you do not improve the other sectors. We want to encourage all businesses in Jamaica to have a corporate social responsibility because it is good for encouraging and the growth and development of businesses.
Hey guys,
I'm Candy, and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
Land surveying is one of the oldest professions in the world. The first land survey dates back nearly 3,000 years ago, when Egyptian surveyors subdivided the fertile land around the Nile River and worked on remarking the land after the river's annual flooding. Back then, surveyors used primitive technology, including chains and steel bands, which made their measurements difficult to record and often required the use of logarithmic tables and slide rulers. But today, surveying equipment has advanced a far way, making jobs much easier. We visited the built environment by UTech to grasp further insight on this episode of Career Moves.
Hi, I am Glendon Newsom, Commissioned Land Surveyor and Program Director for the Surveying and Geographic Information Sciences programs at the University of Technology, Jamaica. Land surveying involves the recording, analysis, and presentation, whether be in graphic or narrative form, of data that surveyors collect on the surface of the earth, be it natural or artificial features, meaning trees, roadways, buildings, all features that are associated with the built environment, including boundaries of properties, which we regard as cadastral surveying, boundary surveys. A land surveyor is a well-educated and trained individual in the practice of land surveying. Land surveying is a highly mathematical skill. It requires knowledge of physics, geography, right? And so you will find that the land surveyor is a very rounded individual because he interfaces with many other professionals, including architects, engineers, mining personnel, and so forth, for the general development of the built environment. There are no age stipulations except that the Act requires that the person who is presenting themselves to the Land Surveyors Board to become a land surveyor should have attained the age of 21. Right? Of course, there are no gender restrictions. We proudly have 4 female commissioned land surveyors among the 104 that are practicing in Jamaica today.
Depending on the specific job duties, surveying involves both field work and office work, from suits to boots.
Land surveyors' work is predominantly in the field. They obviously have to process their data, and that is where the office aspect of it comes in. We meet with our clients in the office. So surveying is an office-based and a field-based activity. We could be found in boardrooms giving advice, consultancy on projects. And as I said before, on the other hand, we'll be found in the hills and the valleys of various parts of the island. People choose to become land surveyors if they have an affinity for the outdoor environment, right? If they like to interface, if they like adventure, if they like to travel out from home, far distances to work, spend the whole day working in a very rural village, returning home, that type of thing, interfacing with the rural folks. You know, if you just have that love and passion for geography and the environment on a whole.
Glendon shares his journey on becoming a land surveyor.
I started out in surveying through the introduction of the subject at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. That was in the 1970s when the school engaged a graduate from the then College of Arts, Science and Technology to teach the subject. We did the subject in the Associated Examining Board, which is one of the GCE boards, and we did 2 years of surveying, and we sat the AEB exam and passed. And among the other subjects which we know were required at the time, maths and English, physics, and so forth. And then I entered CAST at the time and completed the 3-year diploma program. Went to the Northeast London Polytechnic in England, did the two final years of a 3-year bachelor's degree, and I came back and started teaching at CAST until it transitioned to UTech in 1995. Subsequently, I did a postgraduate course with the University of New South Wales in Australia, and that pretty much is where it's at, where my training is concerned. In the intervening years, I would have had to be attached to a commissioned land surveyor. Once I had the diploma at the time, now the requirement is for the degree. So I had to be attached to a commissioned land surveyor. The law requires a 1-year internship. We call it an attachment. During that time, we are required to complete a certain set of tasks within certain disciplines of land surveying. So we had to do a certain amount of cadastral work, which has to do with boundary surveys. We had to do a certain amount of topographic work, which has to do with collecting environmental features, natural and artificial features, and prepare topographic plans, and some engineering work, which has to do with the construction and the design and construction of civil structures. So once we complete that year, and you would have, during the course of the year, have been deemed to have sufficient work, you are allowed to sit the land surveyor's board examination. Once you pass the board examination, then you are designated a commissioned land surveyor.
Land surveying is considered to be the second oldest profession in the world, and more than ever, it's an integral part of communities across the globe, and so we learn what goes on in a day.
So we did say that a surveyor has 2 aspects to his in terms of activities, both office and field. Okay, so let's start with the office. With the office, you have a situation where you would be meeting clients or take clients' requests. You would collect information from them as it relates to the project or the task that they would require. Then, if it has to do with, for example, a boundary survey, you would go to the National Land Agency. You would carry out some research in terms of trying to get information pertaining to adjoining owners, because we need to serve these owners with notices of survey. We would prepare these notices, and then we would do some pre-calculations, prepare our data for the field, so that when you go to the field, you are prepared for the task. And that's it. When you get back to the office, then you would process that data and prepare your results, whether it is a plan or a report, whatever the case may be. In the field now, depending on where you're going, depending on where you're based, surveyors are all over the island, right? But if you're in Kingston and you're going to do a survey in Trelawney, then you're going to be up, rise and shine at say 4 a.m. Prepare yourselves, you're going to round up your crew, your staff, right, assistants, and then you're going to hit the road. One of the good things about, say, leaving Kingston and going out to those places to survey is that when you're in Mandela, for example, you say, all the traffic coming back this way, and you feel good going that way, right? So that's it. And when you get to your site, you meet your clients, You meet the adjoining owners, you explain what you're there for, you collect their information. Whatever you don't have, you would have probably been armed with even some copies of their titles or diagrams already based on your research. And then you would do what we call adjudication. In other words, look at the information that you have, look at the evidence that is on the ground in terms of their fences, whether they are boundary marks, whether they surveyed before and the surveyor left boundary marks there. So we do that in an attempt now to arrive at the correct position of the boundary. Especially if there's a dispute, then this adjudication process is extremely important, because here the surveyor is acting as a judge in the field in terms of trying to ascertain, based on the evidence that is available to him, whether graphic or on the ground, where is the correct position of the boundary. Once he has done that, then he marks the position if there are no marks there before, and he marks them using marks that are stipulated by the land surveyor's regulations. And then once he does that, then he carries out the survey, uses the instrument and carries out the measurements and records those and takes it back to the office. And then it's time to go home.
Coming up,
once you are employed, you're likely to have security of tenure, in particular the government service.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Surveyor, to me, in my opinion, should be a part of any building that is taking place, whether here in Kingston or in St. Andrew or anywhere else for that matter in the country. Why? Because as a result of them, we can know where every boundary and every line is.
I strongly believe that the land survey should be used more, and that is the appropriate way.
I think it's best you survey your land, so at least you know where your landmarks stop, and because sometimes you have good neighbors, sometimes you have bad neighbors, and should in case your bad neighbors want to say, boy, that part belongs to me, then at least you have an idea where your land stop, and you can say, this is my landmark, I get my land survey, and this is where my land stops, so you cannot come over, and I will not go over on your share of land.
Yes, I believe there should be, because in all cases, they will tell you what is feasible, what's feasible house you can put on a particular piece of land. So without their surveyor services, then you will be building negligently. So anything happen like landslides or anything like that, then it's your negligence why that happened, and you end up in a loss.
Yes, I believe so, because if you survey the land first before you build, better usage of the land will be done before you start building on it.
Surveyors play an integral role in land development, from the planning and design of land subdivisions through to the final construction of roads, utilities, and landscaping. Hence, education plays a great deal, and so we learn of what UTech offers.
We have two programs here at UTech. We have the 4-year bachelor's degree in Surveying and Geographic Information Sciences, and we have a 2-year associate degree in Surveying and GIS Technology. The 4-year bachelor's degree is what is the prerequisite to becoming a commissioned land surveyor. And for entry into the 4 years bachelor degree, you need a minimum of 5 CSEC subjects, preferably mathematics, English, physics, geography, technical drawing, along those lines. And then 4 units of CAPE, some unit 1, some unit 2s. As it relates to the technology course, surveying technology, we require 4 C-Sec subjects, Maths, English, and along the same lines. Students who complete the associate degree can matriculate into the bachelor's program once they have achieved a GPA of not less than 2.7. Once a student completes the bachelor's program, those who are pursuing surveying would now have to be attached to a surveyor for a minimum of 1 year and carry out that practical attachment. Once the attachment or internship is completed, then the student sits a land surveyor's board examination. And the examination is comprised of both the oral and the practical. Once they have passed, then they would become a commissioned land surveyor. It's a highly academic program. The university is trying to inculcate a culture of research. So some of our work that we do with the students are research driven, right? And a large component of it is also practical. That's one of the legacies of the University of Technology programs, where we prepare the students to be work ready.
Training institutions are limited in Jamaica, but vary across the globe.
The University of Technology is the only place in Jamaica that offers a Bachelor of Surveying in Jamaica. There are others in the region and, of course, beyond. But insofar as Jamaica is concerned, this is where surveying training takes place. Land surveyors are major contributors to the whole economic growth process that, for example, the current government is trying to push. There are also land development surveys in the sense that a large tract of land might exist and it is to be developed into a housing estate, right? And the surveyors are required in the very early stages, first of all, to carry out a topographic survey of what exists on the ground, right? So we are usually regarded as the persons who are first in on a development and last out. So we are pretty much involved in the whole matter of development. That's where the surveyor makes his or her contribution.
Land surveyors are crucial to the process of responsible land development, so their involvement in society is well desired.
There's always going to be a need for surveyors wherever there's development, right? And the other thing about it is that the fact that surveying is multifaceted in the sense that we have so many sub-disciplines within the profession. As I mentioned before, you have cadastral surveys. So there are people who will always want to apply for their titles. And so there are some 800,000+ parcels of land in Jamaica. Only 400,000+ of those are being registered. So there's more scope. There's a lot more scope for more parcels to be surveyed. Okay, development will always be taking place, as slow as it may be at times. There's always going to be the need for surveyors to carry out topographic surveys before the development and the engineering surveys during the course of development. We don't have much incidences of students leaving here and being unemployed. For a little while, you may find them having to take up employment in other areas that are not aligned with their degree until eventually they will find. But our graduates are in demand within the region as well, because quite a number of our graduates are in the Eastern Caribbean working, and of course in other parts of the world.
Although their services are well needed, UTech doesn't get many applicants.
We don't get a lot of applications, right? Because I know there are programs that have capacities for 50 students and they're getting 300 applications. That's not the case here. Our numbers are very, very low. I suppose perhaps because what the students might see initially, a surveyor out in the sun, and the next few minutes, it's raining down cats and dogs. He may be on the hillside, he may be down in the valley, and somebody might say to themselves, why would I want to do that? Those who choose it actually love and have a passion for it. So once we get into it, there's just no turning back.
Surveyors are needed in every part of the world, especially in developing countries where they can make a significant impact on communities.
I don't think any graduate would have to worry as it relates to job security because, for one, as I just mentioned, the numbers entering the profession is low. So you will find that once you are employed, you're likely to have security of tenure. In particular, the government service is very, very short of surveyors. Right? If you go to the surveys and mapping division of the National Land Agency, they have several posts for land surveyors there that are unfilled. As I said before, we have 104, probably 110 or so surveyors practicing in Jamaica, and only about 10% of that is in the government service. And there are far many more posts that are there to be filled.
Coming up,
we see all kinds of roadworks taking place in the island, and I'm not sufficiently convinced that the surveyor is actively engaged.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
This is Caroline Smith, marketing implementer for Sol Western Caribbean for Shell Lubricants, and you're watching Business Access TV, and they are serious about business.
No amount of education and training in the world will help you to truly succeed unless you possess certain professional traits and abilities.
We expect land surveyors to be professional, right? We have what we call a code of ethics for land surveyors. For example, a surveyor should not advertise in self-laudatory manner. So you won't see, for example, a poster which says, for the best surveys, come to ABC Surveyor. You will never see that. A surveyor should not take steps to engage with a client who he or she is aware of as being a client of another surveyor without discussing the whole transition with the surveyor, because there could be considerations which might become litigious, right? So there are these code of ethics that bind us, and we are bounded by them. And if you are found to transgress your code of ethics, you can be charged for professional misconduct. There are agencies and departments of government that could do a little bit more with surveyors. We see all kinds of roadworks taking place in the island, and I'm not sufficiently convinced that the surveyor is actively engaged. I see roads being completed, surfaces looking very nice, polished, and yet water is settling in those roadways, right? And you know what water does to the surface. After a while, it will erode, and you will have to build it all over again.
Glendon echoes the call for surveyors to be more utilized in building developments.
I find that surveyors are not utilized. There are people out there who are probably just building these roads by just eyesight. Some of the better constructions that we are seeing is, for example, the Highway 2000s, or when it comes to our own local implementations, I find that surveyors are probably short-circuited and the roads are done without proper surveying input. There is a market because, as I said before, there's always different facets of work. I didn't mention hydrographic surveying, right, which is an activity where we're at archipelagic state, right? And so there would always be the need for surveyors along the coast for the purposes of dredging, if you're going to be doing surveys of a harbor, if you're looking at the whole matter of the logistics hub, and the expansion of ports and all of that, there'll be need for surveyors to do all of those kinds of things.
He also highlights one of the most common misnomers.
The general public looking on may assume that once they see a person standing behind an instrument, a surveying instrument, that person is a land surveyor. Of course, we have persons in the construction field, so you will see somebody on a construction site behind an instrument who may not be a trained land surveyor. So not everybody who you see with an instrument, who turns up on your property to do a survey, right, with an instrument, is a licensed and commissioned land surveyor. Major opportunities. Land development. A surveyor is involved in a land development survey. It would constitute a major part of his career, right? You would want to associate yourself with say, a large development like Richmond and St. Anne. You know, you would be driving past and you say, oh, you know, I did that development, that type of thing. So these are major opportunities I would consider to be major earning sources for surveyors, and yeah, it's pretty much those types of surveys that are land development driven. Certainly, there are instances where you are carrying out surveys for persons who want to do titling, and it's a large tract of land. Yes, and there's always a feeling of accomplishment that when your plan is completed and it is annexed to a title. You know, the person has a title and it has your name on it as a surveyor. It sort of gives you a feeling of accomplishment that you would have contributed to this person's growth and development.
The salary level for land surveyors can vary widely depending on many factors as outlined by Glendon.
One of the things that I can say immediately, right, is that once you choose land surveying as a profession, right, and you do your work well, and you are expected to work hard and deliver good quality service, then you will earn a very good living for yourself and your families. The extent of the earning, of course, is subject to where you work, whether you work in government or the private sector. And although it is said that the government service compensation is low, I would want to think that those of my colleagues who are in the government service are enjoying a good life in terms of their compensation. As it relates to private sector, it's a function of where you work. You know, there are a variety of sizes of firms, small, medium, large, and so it all depends on where you are. You might be a sole proprietor where you alone do your work, whereas you might be a sole proprietor with staff, or you might be in a partnership with staff. So it all depends on where you work. There is the whole thrust of growth and prosperity for the country. It's been talked up a lot by the present government. If it is to materialize and manifest, then there are going to be lots of things happening. For example, there's talk about the Harborview to St. Thomas Highway, so there'll be opportunities there for surveyors to work. We never know, the Highway 2000 may be extended beyond the existing Williams Field. So there are opportunities, and of course the government is also, successive governments is also on a trust for land titling. So surveyors will always be engaged in surveys that are required for the purposes of land titling.
And if you're interested in becoming a land surveyor, here's some advice.
If you decide to choose land surveying, or if you think that you are interested in doing land surveying, my advice is that, as far as possible, research the subject of land surveying. Have a look on the websites, for example. You might find videos there that show the land surveyors out in the field. Talk to surveyors. Perhaps you might want to visit a surveyor's office. But at the end of the day, be aware that this is an activity which takes you much of the time outdoors and to a lesser extent in office. Therefore, you have to be prepared to interact with the environment and the vagaries of the environment, right? The sun, we are in climate change now, so it's very hot out there. When the rain comes, it can have you marooned in certain parts of cockpit country where you have a long walk back to your vehicle. These are the type of things that you have to consider. So guess what? Like any other profession, you have to decide that, okay, I have a passion for this. This is something that I think I would love. And therefore, if you choose something that you would love, it will never ever feel like work. And once you enjoy what you're doing, you will succeed.
Hi, I'm Jade Lee, the owner of the farm at Little Orchard. Welcome.
We explore the good life on the farm at Little Orchard this week. Stay with us.
I traded in my high heels for my water boots about 3 years ago and took over my father's property and decided to make it a sanctuary. A productive, money-making venture that would not only support my family but the community here in Linstead. We grow and harvest many crops, we export crops, we sell crops to the local market, we supply quite a few local restaurants, supermarkets, and government agencies. We're moving towards eco-tourism. We currently do tours in the tourism industry as well as with schools, high schools, prep schools, primary schools, and that's been going excellent. I grew up on this property, but my parents were not farmers. So it was a citrus orchard, and it was our home. My dad had already passed 7 years when I took the property, and I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go with it because I had never been a farmer before, and I never had an interest in farming, to be honest. I came back to visit the property. There was no one living here. It was abandoned for many years. I don't know, it's a really strange thing to explain, but in the next coming years, I developed a passion for the land and a passion for farming. Right now, we have almost 30 acres completely developed. Although I would like to say I have livestock for slaughtering. Every time my animals has babies, they become so endeared to me. My rabbits, goats, and we have chickens. I have not started to slaughter any of our animals because I get so close to them, but it has to happen eventually. So I'm getting there mentally and emotionally to grow our herds. That's one part. But what has been happening over the past 3 years is our crops and the growth of our crops and our fields. So we have a very large portion of our flatlands are planted out in callaloo, and we supply callaloo to the local factories. We also export callaloo to the US and to Canada. We supply lots of local entities like with pumpkins, sweet potatoes, peppers, There are particular agencies that have supported us over the years. You know, Jackie Tyson has been like amazing, and she's always supported us. We do bananas. Right now, there has been a problem in this farming basin with the bananas and plantains. As we knew strains from, we knew as children, everybody knows about Robusta banana and about Gros Michel banana. These bananas are being affected by a very serious disease called black cicotoca. And so most farmers are now replanting with Fia bananas that are resistant to that disease. And so we have a lot of Fia trees that we have just planted. We have ginger, we have pineapple, MD2 pineapple, which is a very hardy pineapple. We have those as well. We have peppers, Moruga red, West Indian red, and Scotch bonnet peppers. We have corn, and then we have our herbs and spices. Like we have a very, very large mint area, and we supply mint to most of the bars and stuff for mojitos. Okay, so people can relate to that. We do as well lemongrass, and we do rosemary and stuff like that. Moringa, we have lots of moringa trees that that was the first thing I planted when I took Little Orchard Farm over.
Welcome to Little Orchard Farm in Linston, St. Catherine, Jamaica.
On the farm at Little Orchard, there are many crops that we grow organically. Growing a crop organically means that you do not use any toxic pesticides, you do not use any toxic herbicides to clear the land, you do not use any toxic fertilizers, you use everything that is natural. So if you're going to fertilize, you would fertilize with compost or you would fertilize with animal droppings. If you're going to spray a pesticide, that is a pesticide that we would make our own pesticides from like boiled peppers, garlic, scallion, and make that very strong, and that's what you would spray with. There are also other organic pesticides that you can purchase from the farm store, but these are not very common, especially in the farming practice in Jamaica, because they are more expensive. The whole process of growing organic produce is not easy. It's a difficult process. It's a more time-consuming process. So the produce at the end of the day is more expensive. It's also not as pretty. A lot of people buy it with their eyes. They eat with their eyes. And so if you see a head of cabbage and it has little bites and stuff on it, and you see this beautiful head of cabbage over here and has no bites and it's just perfect, more than likely the head of cabbage that is perfect is not organic. More than likely. And I'm not saying that it can't be organic and be beautiful. If it's grown in a greenhouse and it's completely protected from the elements and from all of those pests and stuff, and you have barriers in your greenhouse and entranceways that are protected, then that can happen. That's usually not the case though. So most people in Jamaica grow on the outdoors because we have the weather for it 24/7. And so the organic stuff becomes more expensive at the end of the day to the consumer. And so we have a very small niche market that only buys organic stuff. And so we do grow these things specifically for that market. And we get into organic things like organic eggs, which is grain-fed chicken and vegetable-fed chickens. We get into the organic stuff as free-range chickens. These chickens are not feed with hormones in it that you buy in the bag feed. They're only fed corn and vegetables, but absolutely no hormones at all, which actually comes in the feed that's already processed. So we do have organic chickens, we have organic eggs, and we have organic crops. When it comes on to the health benefits of organic crops and organic chickens, organic eggs, the health benefits are tremendous. They're extremely different. Remember now, the actual hormone that is put into the feed that a chicken eats to produce the eggs on a commercial basis, and the actual feed that the chickens eat to get fatter and more plump in a 6-week period, which is when they harvest and reap the chickens on a commercial basis, those hormones are estrogen based. So estrogen is a female hormone, which means that when you eat these things, you are getting estrogen that your body does not and should not have. So every time a man eats these chickens, he is putting in his body a female hormone. Now, I am not knocking the chicken industry. People have to eat. People are looking always for less expensive alternatives to feed their families, but there are the people that wants to be more responsible, and it is more costly to produce a the comparison between a free-range chicken and a commercially grown chicken that is given the hormones is more than double the price per pound. It's more than double the price per pound. So it's significantly different, you know, but the health benefits, it's not rocket science. I mean, you know, Google is there, and, you know, I'm not saying something that the information is not out there, you know, because I do have colleagues, and I too do commercial eggs, you know, because there are people that want a choice, and that's what they want to buy, and we do give them the choice. But the people that want to do the organic stuff, we give them the choice as well.
We take our first break here on The Good Life. More when we return.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
This is Caroline Smith, marketing implementer for Sol Western Caribbean for Shell Lubricants, and you're watching Business Access TV, and they are serious about business.
The Good Life is back. Let's have a look at our Need to Know segment for this week.
Look here, Andre, you have to carry this back to here and carry it back to the plow pod. When you get suckers, let's bring down another couple of rows here. So this callaloo field, as the suckers are planted, they have to be watered immediately. And this particular plot here is about 1 acre. As you know, callaloo is very high in iron. And it is now one of the main ingredients for any green juice. Any green juice, you know that callaloo is a must-have in your green juice. As well as, of course, we know we cook callaloo as a vegetable, as a side dish or a breakfast dish in Jamaica. So all this is being planted out today, and they're being watered as they're planted. First couple of weeks, they're in shock. And for the first couple of weeks, they'll look like this. These have been planted now about 1 week, and so they're in shock. They're also suffering from a little bit of lack of water because we're having a little bit of not so much rain recently. But not to worry. They're just in shock because they're babies, they were just planted. Because right after that, we're going to take you to the established field and show you what it's going to look like in 3 to 4 weeks. So this is what the field looks like when it is established. And these callaloos are now ready for reaping. So we do not spray our callaloo with anything toxic. So if you see a bite or two, it's a good thing, okay? Good thing. This tree is actually reaped and it will grow back, and in 2 weeks, it'll be big again and you'll get fresh things. So we spoke about seeds and planting seeds. Yes, planting seeds are important. Would you select a tree like this for seeds? Absolutely not. This tree is little and bilgy. No. When you select a seed for replanting, it must be from the most beautiful tree or the most beautiful fruit that you have in your orchard. And you take that, that's your mother. And remember, just like how you pamper a pregnant mother and you give her vitamins and you feed her all of the nutritious stuff, that's what you do with your mother tree. So now we're going over to see the bananas. These bananas are Robusta bananas. That's the breed of bananas. And as you can see, you see these leaves that gets dried. They start out by being yellow, like this one right here. This particular fungus that affects these bananas is called black cicotoca. And the black cicotoca is actually rampant throughout Jamaica and some parts of this Caribbean farming basin. And the black cicotoca actually can be controlled with chemicals. However, we do not spray our bananas. These bananas will eventually die. What happens with the black cicotoca is that it kills the leaves, and when the leaves die, the fruit does not have enough leaves to carry the nutrients to the actual banana, and then the bananas abort before the time that they should be fit. How do you know a good sucker from a bad sucker? A good banana sucker shapes like a spear. It's wider at the bottom and narrow at the top. So that's a good, healthy sucker right here. This tree is going to shoot. You can see it shooting. The fruit will shoot, and as soon as that bears and you reap that fruit, you cut this tree down. And this tree will come down, and then this one will shoot a fruit. And it continues and continues. But at no time at all should you have more than 3 generations of bananas in one area, one hole. That's a healthy tree right there so far. But we see the black cicotoca coming. But hopefully the tree will remain with at least 8 leaves to feed the fruit until maturity to reap. Luckily, however, they came up with a new strain of bananas called the Thea banana that is actually resistant to black cicotoca. So we are now in the process of replanting our bananas and putting in the Thea bananas, and we'll show you some of these fields. No black cicotoca. You see no black cicotoca leaves. Beautiful Thea bananas. Andre, why not planting? Everybody need to plant them rows. These we have sprayed with the organic stuff. So these are completely organic cabbages. This is a moringa tree. This tree is about 3 years old. Usually when they're planting moringa for harvesting, they harvest the leaves and grind them to put in a capsule for medicinal purposes. They also use the seeds as a health product in shakes, in just pop one in your mouth, you know. You don't want to eat too many moringa seeds though, because it carries your blood pressure down sometimes, I understand.
Bang, 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 bang.
Okra. You know you can eat all of these baby okras when they're young like this. Nice. Healthy living. So these are our free-range chickens. They were hatched out about a month ago, and we leave them caged for maybe about a month and a half to 2 months until they're big enough to fend for themselves. or else predators like mongoose and so on will get to them and eat them. So we have them in protective custody. This is our apiary. It's a small apiary that we're growing. We're in honey season now, so we're actually splitting our boxes, which means making 2 boxes out of 1 box. And we're developing our apiary. Hopefully, we aim to get up to 1,000 boxes. So Denby is probably the largest agricultural trade show in the world. It is a huge trade show that goes on for about 3 days in Jamaica. And Denby of 2016, I got the award of champion female farmer for Jamaica. I had only been in farming 2.5 years, so I was very happy to have been selected. And you know, I know that the other females that were in the category too, they did very well. They had some amazing properties. I've visited some of these properties and I'm very, very impressed.
We take our final break here on The Good Life, but stay with us. More when we return.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
What farming has done for me, it has taught me a lot of patience. You see, because I'm a very impatient person and I want things to be done now, immediately. I want it to be done today, this minute. Farming doesn't work like that. You can't plant pumpkins today and reap them tomorrow. You have to prepare your lands. You have to know the time of year to plant. If you have a lacking of water supply or irrigation, you have to know when your rains are coming. How soon do you plant before your rains? You have to understand that there are certain soils that certain crops don't do well in. Rotation of crops on a particular piece of land is also very important. You don't want to plant, there are some crops that give back to the earth, and there are some crops that take away from the earth. So you may want to plant sweet potato, and then you want to plant callaloo, and then you want to plant something else, and then you want to go back to your sweet potato because sweet potato gives back to the land. So there are many different farming practices, and believe you me, Google is a wonderful place. It's all there. And if it's not there, I can pick up my phone and call a fellow farmer, and the information is easily at hand. I choose crops based on the market and what's out there as a demand, what I have orders for and contracts for on a regular basis. And I know that contractually I have a market for it. So we will continually grow these crops like pumpkin, sweet potato, and callaloo. There's a all year round market for these, and I already have an established contract for these. Other than that, I have so many friends and colleagues that say, Jade, you're not growing up broccoli. You don't have this, you don't have that. And then I have a couple of friends that just want the organic stuff only. And then I grow for them. And other than that, I grow what I like. And if when you grow what you like, there are tons of other people that likes it as well. I grow sweet corn. I love sweet corn. But if I grow sweet corn, I do have hand to sell sweet corn. I think growing what you eat and eating what you grow everything, it's impossible. It's impossible to grow everything that you eat. And I don't necessarily eat everything that I grow. But one thing I can tell you, there are certain things that I didn't necessarily like before that I eat now because I grow them. Like, I don't really particularly like pumpkins, but I eat pumpkin now because I grow the pumpkins, and it just feels great to eat it. When it comes on to the economics of growing what you eat and eating what you grow, let's say you have a small plot of land in your yard. The fact of the matter is that you see the same calla that grows up that you cut, that same calla grows back calla the very next week or the week after. All you have to do is water it and give it a little bit of fertile animal manure, whatever. It grows right back. So that same 6 little roots of callaloo is going to give you callaloo for months and months and months and months. The 3 pepper trees that you have in your yard would be possible to give you peppers for almost 2 years. That same pepper tree. You take that same seed from one of the really, because you have to select your pepper, the most beautiful pepper that you got off of that tree, and dry those seeds to plant back. You can plant your thyme, your scallion. When they come, they say, how would I plant some scallion? The same scallion you go to the supermarket and buy, the same time you go to the supermarket and buy, you can plant them. Organic farming, or if you want to do farming the other way. But everyone should have a small garden in their home, a mint garden, some lemongrass. You'll be surprised to know how simple it is to grow. And so the economics of it is that, yes, these are things that you can maintain for years. For years, a banana tree will keep giving you back the suckers, and it will always be shooting banana. You get a bunch of banana, you have to put them, you can put bananas in the fridge, green bananas in the fridge, by the way, so they don't ripe. So the importance of a farmer and agriculture is so important in our lives. And that's how I start every tour. I ask the question, if you don't bathe for 2 months, will you die? You won't die if you don't bathe for 2 months. You'll be very stink, but you won't die. But if you don't eat for 2 months, you will die. There you have it. That was our tour of the farm at Little Orchard in Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica. I'm sitting right now on my father's old Massey Ferguson tractor. This tractor is probably, wow, a few decades old, well. So we looked at many different crops and the styles of growing crops organically and on the other end commercially, and the health benefits of the organic cropping, which is what we're trying to focus on here at the farm at Little Orchard. It is important to understand that eating healthy is a very important component to start your healthy lifestyle. And of course, knowing where your food comes from and knowing how your food is grown is very, very important. Farming is now so much more extensive than an old man in an overall with a straw hat going out in the fields. It's far more sophisticated. And so we encourage the youngsters to look seriously into farming, because the source of life is food. Farm healthy, eat healthy. Thanks for watching. This has been The Good Life, right here, the farm at Little Orchard.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I will kill people.